Good morning and welcome to our daily prayer message from Carmel Mission Basilica. Last week we contemplated and prayed in the power of the Holy Spirit. We celebrated the great birth of our Catholic Church on the feast of Pentecost. And as always, the Church moves forward guided by the Holy Spirit. And one of the great movements that occurred in our lifetime, of course, has been the Second Vatican Council. It began under the pontificate of Saint Pope John the 23rd on October the 11th, 1962, and closed under that of Saint Pope Paul VI on December the 8th, 1965. At its heart was a call to holiness, a universal call to holiness. The message that all men and women, no matter who they are, no matter where they're from, are called to holiness by the God who created them, each of them in his own image and likeness. The Council included profound changes, as we know, to our liturgy, including the use of the vernacular, a reorientation of the celebrant so the celebrant faces the people, a revision of our Eucharistic prayers, and changes to liturgical music and art. And in conversations prior to convening the Council, Pope John the 23rd was heard saying it was time to open the windows of the church and let in some fresh air. Open the windows of the church and let in some fresh air. And of course there he was referring to the Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit. His death in 1963 caused a brief suspension of the Council's work, but upon the election of Pope Paul VI, he immediately announced that it would resume. And in his opening address delivered in September 1963, Pope Paul VI stressed the pastoral nature of the Council and laid out four primary purposes for Vatican II. The first was to define more fully the nature of the Church and the role of the bishop. Secondly, to renew the Church. Thirdly, to restore unity among all Christians, including seeking pardon for Catholic contributions to separation and division. And fourthly, to start a dialogue with our contemporary world. Quite ambitious goals, I think you'll agree, and we have been working on achieving them ever since, some with more success than others. In his 1964 encyclical Ecclesiam Suum, Pope Paul VI wrote about the Church herself and the need for renewal of the Second Vatican Council. So I'd like to quote from that encyclical Ecclesiam Suum. The birth of the Church and the enlightening of her prophetic consciousness are the two characteristic events which coincide with Pentecost. Together, they will progress. The Church in her organization and in the development of her hierarchy and of the body of the faithful. The awareness of her own vocation, of her own mysterious nature, of her own doctrine, of her own mission, will accompany this gradual development. This will be according to the desire of St. Paul, who said, "And this is my prayer for you. May your love grow richer and richer yet, in the fullness of its knowledge and the depth of its perception." The Church needs to reflect on herself. She needs to feel the throb of her own life. She must learn to know herself better if she wishes to live her own proper vocation and to offer the world her message of brotherhood and of salvation. She needs to experience Christ in herself. According to the words of the Apostle Paul, may Christ find a dwelling place through faith in your hearts. Interestingly, Interestingly, most of those who took part in the council opening session many of those have become popes, four in fact. Cardinal Giovanni Battista Montini, who on succeeding John XXIII took the name of Paul VI, Bishop Albino Luciani, the future Pope John Paul I, Bishop Karol Wojtyła, who became Pope John Paul II, and Father Joseph Ratzinger, present as a theological consultant, who became Pope Benedict XVI. And of those, all but Benedict have been canonized as saints of the Church. The legacy of the Second Vatican Council is truly profound, and if you're interested in learning more and reading more of Pope Paul VI's encyclical, Ecclesiam Suum, you can find it and all papal encyclicals, as well as all the documents of Vatican II, available in English translation on the website of the Vatican. That's vatican.va. As always, please do send your prayer requests to myself and Father Rodrigo. Just go to our website, carmelmission.org, and press that button for prayer requests, and we will gladly take those intentions of yours with us in our daily prayers and masses. And I continue to wish you and your loved ones profound peace and great happiness. Thank you.